Gotcha. It's going live.
Where's Casey?
Hello and welcome to this social recruiting show. Oh no, he's back, but we lost our guest. I'm Katrina Collier. I'm a social recruiting trainer and speaker, and I'm of course joined by my gorgeous co-host Audra Knight, who comes wearing purple plaster, as she do. She's also an employer branding genius, owner of the Blab Cat. Looking freaking awesome as always. And we're going to get to the leg in a minute. Today, super exciting. We have Casey Donovan, who's going to introduce himself in a second, and Abby Cheeseman, who gets a bit, confused and could be Nilsson, whichever, some of the time. Anyway, welcome. We got you all on. Yay.
Hey guys, thanks so much for being here. Let's start with you, Casey. Can you give us you've got a wild, amazing background. If you can give us a little bit of it, and then what you're doing now with Clinch.
Where do you want me to start?
I know, it's kind of tough.
I've had a couple of
marketing and video stuff.
I've had a couple of career shifts and changes over the years. Probably three key ones. I was a filmmaker and film production guy for the first 10 years or so, and then I got into hospitality and wine, and I was in the wine business for about a dozen years, and then I got into this crazy business about 20 years ago. And I guess that's probably the most important part. So, I was a retained executive recruiter running around the planet for a very high level, retained a firm in New York for about 3 or 4 years. And then that led to a VP of recruiting role for $1 billion ISP in New York City, where I kind of built that organization from scratch to about 40 employees. And on the basis of actually creating that, I recognized that there were a lot of other companies that could use some of the things that we had crafted during that 3-year period. So I threw a shingle out, grabbed a couple of guys that helped me build that, and we went out and formed a company called Step Higher that I ran for a dozen years. And basically our focus was replicating that effort that we did at Globix, which was the name of the ISP. Lots of it was employment branding, pipelining, employee referrals, anything we could do to help these companies. And most of the companies we worked with, in fact, all of them were at least the divisions we worked with were at least $1 billion or greater in terms of revenue. Most of them were in the $20 to $40 billion range, so large enterprise companies. And did that for, and we also did exec recruiting, and we did some small mass hiring initiatives as well during that period. But that was 5 years ago. The downturn kind of kicked us in the ass, and I got tired of laying off people and trying to chase after business. And so I started a company called Upwardly Me, which is a pure employment branding play. Mostly we were dealing with pipelining and engagement. We did a lot of video in those days. We, not unlike what Abby will tell you, we were sending actually the cameras in those days out because people were skeptical about using their phones at that point, and quite frankly, the phone sucked 5-6 years ago.
Hang on. So, for any millennials on the call.
And I guess the last handful of years, I've been working on strategy.
Casey, for the millennials, what's a camera? It's amazing, right? It's changed so much. Why the name Upwardly Me? I've been trying to work that out for forever.
Because the objective was to bring people into a talent network and let them shine a light on themselves. So Upwardly Me. And so that was the idea. About a half a year ago, I joined Clinch, a recruitment marketing company, and I'm their head of global strategy. And it's been a lot of fun. So it's kind of what I'm up to now.
Is that how you know Abby?
Actually, kind of, sort of. I met Abby at a conference or at a industry event last fall, actually. And we rekindled our relationship a couple weeks ago in San Francisco at HR Tech World Conference at Mark Coleman's great event. So it was great to see her again.
Is that when you were all out on the boat?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Fucked a lot of you. I was so jealous. I had the biggest FOMO ever.
I'll tell you,
I was just going, stop showing me those photos. And
one of my good buddies is Randy Bailey. And he is a massive sailor. I mean, he's sailed boats to Bermuda. He's gone all over the place. Wow. And when he saw that, he just about died.
I thought
We
it
out
was
there in San Francisco Bay on a catamaran screaming
Yeah.
at 25 knots. No, that was pretty crazy.
Yeah, typical. So Abby, tell us about yourself.
Yeah, I'm Abby Cheeseman. I am a co-founder of Skill Scout, and we help companies bring their jobs to life through video. So prior to that, my co-founder Elena Valentine and I were at an innovation and design firm in Chicago called Gravity Tank. And we got the itch of using principles of human-centered design to apply to hiring. And so about 4 years ago, we started Skill Scout.
So your background wasn't recruitment?
It was not. I have a background in industrial organizational psychology. She has a background in media. She's an audio engineer by trade. And so we're outsiders from the industry. And so it's been an interesting learning curve, but I think because we don't come from the industry, we see things a little bit from fresh eyes, naive, moronic eyes sometimes. But I think it's actually helped us not having any bias about what we can and can't do.
Yeah,
exactly. That's so true, right? And that would also be in the whole, because we've got to come across this way, we can't do stuff as well. So you would see it as, well, why not? I think that's good. Challenge industry.
We were consultants that were telling companies, like, here's the next crazy idea that you're going to go do. Have fun. And so we were in this place of privilege where, we thought that's kind of how it worked. And then starting our own company, of course, there's been a huge reality check there. But I think it's also the spirit of that has helped us evolve, even in some of the cool stuff that we're doing now with like virtual reality and 360 video. Because we don't have to answer internally, or we're not real recruiters, so we don't have to do any of that.
Now, so why do you guys think that so few companies have videos?
They hate the camera.
Yeah,
or they have one that's like 5 years old. That it's the same as everyone else's. Yeah, why do you think that's a challenge?
I think video has a reputation for being heavy and expensive and immediately out of date. To your point. And I think we want to blow that up, because while you want to be thoughtful about what you're communicating, video does not have to just sit in the hands of the employer branding person or the marketing team. It should be a voice that everybody can contribute to share what is an authentic preview of the company. So I think there's a lot of just war stories about doing video, especially in the last 5 to 10 years. You'd have stopping productivity, a 2-day shoot, this whole crew comes in. And so people have had that experience, and it just feels like this huge, expensive undertaking. But
I think it's more than that, actually. There's fear, though, to push back. So, sorry, Casey, I just interrupted you, but there's that shocking video that came out of Australia the other week from the finance department about the girl walking down the stairs, and she's actually a staff member, and she's saying, "Oh, I'm just off for my paleo banana bread," because a normal person's going to say that. And you're just going, so there's a fear to push back from staff as well. So if they're involved, there's that. I don't know. Sorry, Casey, you were going to say something.
No, that's a great point. And it gets to the why are you doing this, right? But I think really Abby made some great points, but I think it gets even before that, though. Particularly when you get to the larger size company, you have the communications team overseeing it. You have the marketing people having a say. You have exec, because it all represents them. And you have talent acquisition who are promoting this concept. And they're not video people. They're typically not looked that way by any of the stakeholders I just mentioned. So you're going to have confidence that these people are going to do a good job and represent the company? No. And so what happens, there's all this oversight and all these, people having a say in the matter, so nothing ever gets done. And what does get done through that sausage making is what we see today on video in corporate websites, which is, so I'm sure we'll talk about that. Some of what you just described, Katrina, quite frankly.
Yeah.
I think there's also that element of it's got to be perfect, and it's on our website representing our brand and representing us. And if it's not to the highest quality and broadcast caliber, it's not something we'll allow. I think those are some of the biggest issues. I know, Audrey, you've got those issues at Tenable, for example, trying to get the right thing, trying to get it done right.
Yeah, luckily though, my director's super forward thinking, and he gets excited about cool ideas and new things. He wants to try new things. So that is really awesome. I worked at a bigger company and I would have had all those issues. So I'm which is part of the reason I joined Tenable, actually, is because I knew I could do kind of cool, forward-thinking things, and my director would support it. So I'm very lucky.
So what?
And by the way,
when
you think about
for
it,
example, sorry.
Well, I was just going to say, Katrina, when you think about it, who's in those videos? Typically, who are the people? Who are the talking heads?
Well, usually
the
your
CEO,
staff, however.
the senior VP, the head of the division. Probably the worst person to have in any employment branding video. But we'll get to that, I'm sure.
We had two on our career site, and one had the 3 founders, and it was a great video. And one had some employees, and then we looked at the hits, and it was amazing which ones they were watching.
The employees.
Yeah, every time.
Because if you just said you wouldn't want to be in a big company, yet you take B2B, we are Cisco, so, but they're, and their Twitter, which they then go and put on YouTube, it's not their Twitter, their Snapchat that they then go and put on YouTube. And it's like they just hand it out to staff and off they go and spend the day playing on the Snapchat channel. I mean, that's so brave. Why can they do that? Like, from you guys who are, selling in video, you must know why they've got freedom. Or
I wonder if it's something to do with their management.
It's just a commitment to doing it, and being able to see some early results from people want to hear from other candidates. That's that appetite that Glassdoor years ago was trying to fulfill. And I think the next gen is like pulling it off of a website and actually making it, a little bit more of a tangible experience. Like you're talking to someone, only it's a little bit more one directional.
Yeah. Like that. We've all gone quiet.
Drop the mic.
It's so funny.
That's it. We're done.
Blown away by Abby.
We're all trying to talk at once. Now we're not talking. That's hilarious.
Casey, what are some really cool, innovative things you've seen people do with video? Besides Cisco, because that is impressive.
Well, there's so many. I think that everything that I've heard in the last 6 months is authenticity, and the more authentic you are, the more believable the video will be, and the less propaganda the user will view it as. And I think there's been years ago there was a buddy of mine that ran this end of the business at a very large tech company in France, and they had 40,000 employees. And he put out a note to everyone as a contest. It was about the time when Vine and those 6-second spots were becoming popular. And he said it was a contest for showing what it's like to be at your desk at any point in time you want during the course of the day, whatever. I think they got something like 700 videos, 6-second videos, and talk about content rich. It was pretty cool. And of course they had this whole contest. They had people vote. They had the employees vote on the ones they liked the best, and then it went on and on and on through several layers. And I think the top 10 were put on the website actually, and they posted it out on YouTube or wherever. I can't remember the various channels. This is going back probably 2012 timeframe, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. So to me, that's a cool thing. Yeah.
So
I mean, I was talking with Stacey Zapar a couple of weeks ago, and she told me about a client that she did work with, and it was a very visual company where loaded with creatives and people that would be attracted to their business were photographers and videographers and things like that. And they actually had this frame made that looked like a Polaroid frame, and they would shoot the video as that was someone holding it up. They actually showed the person holding it up, with their hand and their arm, and then behind that was the person's day in the life, kind of, it was a snapshot, 5, 10, 20 seconds. I thought that was really clever. It gave a little bit more creativity to the process. But I think in any instance, it's all about being authentic. If you look at any of Nando Rodriguez's videos that he's done over the years, I mean, I think he's really done a terrific job at manufacturing a 2 or 3 minute video that is snappy, lots of driving music, but really creative and fun. Ed Nathanson has done the same thing in his work. I think it's really finding what the core message you want to send out, and then making sure that there's a story or something that's fun to see in your video that will attract that type of person.
So what do you do if you're not a fun company?
What's that?
What do you do if you're not a fun company?
Oh,
Maybe
there's
Abby
always-
can answer that. I'll drop that one on Abby.
Yeah, great.
I think you show, so one of the things that Skill Scout does is we show authentic job previews. So rather than, you know, a typical company culture video, we actually just want to create a job posting that's in video form. And so we're interviewing the person who's in the position, and then we're following them around. And even though for some of us that might feel mundane in certain jobs, for the right candidate, they're going to get geeked about that and say like, oh, I could see myself doing that, whether it's running a CNC machine. Or yesterday, I was filming some 360 video at the Midwest Bird and Exotic Animal Clinic. And so,
how cool.
I mean, it would be a terrible job for me. I was freaked out the entire time. There was birds flying at us. But
the birds.
My colleague was like, oh, this is the greatest thing. And I think
I love that.
every workplace has that thing. And it's just about like giving the window into that and not thinking about every video that you make as like a branding piece. It's just your brand is a collection of the things that you put out there. And so if you just think about being authentic, your brand builds itself versus here's our brand. Here are the top 5 talking points we have to put in this video because that's our brand. Just show it. Just show, you know, the team working together as they're clipping sugar gliders' nails, right?
As you do. But when you think about the first day desks, like any photographs of first day desks go absolutely nuts on LinkedIn. Like we all just want to see ourselves sitting there, right? This is, you come in your first day, it's what you have. It's exactly what you're saying. Who's that? It's come for a visit.
It's like, bye.
Yeah. Hey, Mum's on video.
Mom's geeking out over there. I'm getting out of here.
Video, that's just so 2017. He'll be saying that shortly, won't he? He is.
Yeah, I wonder what they'll have in his day. That's interesting. What about on a budget? What do you guys think about ways to do, just use your phone, right? And an iMovie or whatever.
Yep.
I've seen some cool stuff with that.
I do all mine on ScreenFlow.
To me, what happens is you always get that headshot, right? And you see these $25,000 video productions where they'll come in for a 2-day shoot and they're putting makeup on the CEO or the handpicked photogenic and telegenic employee.
That's
and
first.
It's all scripted and the lighting is there. They got the grip guy and they got the, you know, all these guys doing their thing. And at the end of the day, what's the result of that? And you talk about budgeting. First of all, Abby, you got to jump in after this because I want you to talk about what you guys are doing because it's earth shattering and groundbreaking. But I think here's one thing. You know, you can get for $100. You can get $100 software. I use Sony Vega, cheapest one, the cheapest version they use. Or you can use what comes with whatever your software with your PC or your Mac. Yeah. They all have it. And go and take a bunch of still images. You do not have to have video. Yeah. And you're basically creating and then just do your cuts. Just pop them into it's very simple. If you can build you know, people think about this and they say, oh my God, I can't technically do it. Do you build a PowerPoint presentation? If you can do a PowerPoint presentation, you can do what I'm describing. It's very simple. And you take pictures of all around your office, all around your building, you know, the bowling league event or the soccer event or whatever you know, the leagues, whatever your employees are involved with, and you just put together like a film chain of snips of these, and you know, you can put it with transitions, fade in or not, whatever. It's very easy. And find some silly song or actually have a bunch of people sing a song, which is actually even better, and let that be your video.
You're off. Yeah. I use ScreenFlow. I know it's MacBook, but oh my God, it's so awesome. I can record my screen. I can record me. I can record the desktop. And it's you can chuck stuff in and out. I'm forever editing. It's so easy. And you're right. If you know, and when you consider the fact when I left school, computers were only just coming in, and the fact if I can do this, anyone can do this. So I think it's very, very cool.
Our mantra at Skill Scout is if you can take a video of your cat or of your kid, you can take a video of your job. And so I think, to your point, like about the cell phone video, I think that's a great place to start. You can edit yourself. You don't have to edit. Even a 30-second snippet of somebody talking about their job and walking you through and saying, hey, this is where I do this. That's better than nothing. And then steps up, you know, baby steps, right? Steps up from that, you can edit yourself. Skill Scout has a film your own job video kit that we make it really easy to figure out what to capture, and then you submit your clips to us and we put it together. But I think my whole passion is around making video accessible to people and making it not feel, if you can post something to Instagram, you can post it about your company and make it not feel like this big produced thing. It's just a sharing. Just like today, we didn't prep, we're not practicing this, but there's authentic content coming out, and that's why people care about it. Same goes for videos about your company.
You're getting
to jump in on that.
Check Angie outside here. I love the videos. They're amazing. So simple and authentic. Skill Scout rocks. It's really hard to say. Skill Scout rocks. I'm tired. Yay. The other thing I was going to say is I had a whole load of little video snaps. And actually, when I put them, I downloaded the whole lot into my camera roll and actually stitched them together into video. And then you can use that elsewhere. I mean, it's so easy these days.
I think the thing is that what are your target audience looking at? Who's your target audience? People that want a job or that you want to attract to your company to consider you for employment. What are they looking at online? Are they looking at these, incredibly produced, high quality videos, or are they on all the places we've just talked about, where it's you and I making them? So why is that? Should that be any different for what we put out there for them to consume about our companies? It's a very simple equation, quite frankly.
I think with the likes of, I mean, there's just still healthy skepticism around Glassdoor, right? But the bullshit meter's gone up along with all the polished PR videos. So we all went, oh, that's not really what it's like. So that's why I think everyone wants the real content. And again, it goes back to like TripAdvisor. I know people who'll only book a place if they see a video or a photo of the pool. Even if it says they've got a pool and there's a polished PR photo, they want the real one. So
that's cool. I like that.
What's going on down the side here? Is this still working?
Someone's having trouble with the video. I don't know if Angie, tell us if you can still see us.
KC freezes quite regularly.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I'm freezing all along here.
Bandwidth.
It's cold here in Boston. No, I'm just kidding.
I see.
Angie does.
I tell you, this thing where I'm plugged in via the power is incredible. So it gives it a real boost on the Wi-Fi. I'll send you the link later, KC.
No, I mean, we're cooking here at plenty of speed. I don't know why we're having this problem. So
can we get access to your little kit of suggestions without actually submitting video? I want to see what you're writing there about what people should suggest. It would be so cool to share with my clients.
Yeah, absolutely.
As well, and get them to come and. I would obviously give full credit.
Oh yeah.
Just realized how that came out of my mouth.
We give our video recipes is what we call them. Hi, kitty.
Say that again.
We give our video recipes out, to anyone, because I think whether or not you work with Skill Scout, there's content that we can help you with and that we can make it easier on you. But our goal is to make everybody do video, whether or not they work with us. So I'd be happy to share some of our wacky ideas.
So cool.
And I
have you guys?
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I've just heard that Facebook's saying it's going to be all video in 4 years now.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? I wonder if it will be. It's interesting.
2 billion users.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I see Angie says, share your wacky ideas.
So, do you know what I'm finding frustrating is I want to like the comments down the side here and you can't. Like you do on Facebook. Like that's how addicted we are to liking comments. Yes. And now you can put GIFs on comments and it's like I'm addicted.
I have a LinkedIn. You can't put a silly face emoji. Why can't you do that on LinkedIn?
Yeah, very serious.
I can't communicate without those.
So wacky ideas. Yeah. Wacky idea number 1 that we can all go and do now. When we get off the end of this, at 4, we're ready. We go.
So a cool one that we've done, aside from your job preview, which I think everyone should be doing a job preview on video.
Yeah.
Like the secret life of. So whatever your company does, whatever you make, whether it's a service or a product, we've done like the secret life of, technicians, like how many machines have you repaired in your career? And then we get the real data and we make this funny little vignette about, I've done 1,000 and really it's been 9, and just funny little social things. So secret life of your products, of what you guys do. I think another really cool one that we're working on is 360 immersion. You can buy a 360 camera for your phone. We bought one and we're prototyping with it at Skill Scout. And you just set a tripod in an area where cool stuff's happening for maybe 10 minutes and then time lapse that and speed it up so that a candidate can come in and see like, oh, this is the activity that's going on. They can have a little bit more of an immersive experience. And the cool thing is Facebook handles 360 video now, and so does YouTube. Facebook has some cool tools where you can actually make call outs on the video. So if there's like a certain area that you want to say you own a restaurant and you want to call out, like, this is where the sous chef works, this is where the prep cooks work, this is where the dishes are being washed. You can make little call outs and notes on that, so that when 360 experiences are very disorienting, especially because we're not used to consuming them yet. And so these call outs make it really easy for someone to say like, oh, there's something I should be looking at over here right now, or over here right now.
How much are those cameras?
They're cheap. They're I want to say we paid like $250 for the one that sits on the iPhone. And of course you can spend
cheaper for you than me.
Yeah, and we found ours on Amazon. I think you can spend, thousands and thousands on high-end 360 cameras. But if it's something you're thinking about doing, the technology is very affordable. It's not going to be the most high res, but same with a GoPro. I think we do some really cool perspective shots. So we work with a company that does armored car services, and we put a GoPro on them and had them walk through getting their bulletproof vest on, getting their gun prepped, getting in their truck, going on their route. And it just gives this like really clean perspective. You don't even have to do dialogue. Throw some music on top of it, and then edit out, the uninteresting parts and throw it up for candidates to see.
So clever. But even the panoramic photos, when you upload them onto Facebook, will allow you to do 360. It's extraordinary. Kind of mind-blowing. Again, going back to computers were only coming in when I left school. I think that's relates to what I'm talking about.
A good thing, though, if you do post it to Facebook, make sure you have what they call captions, because they say 85% of people don't even turn on the sound on Facebook.
Yeah, and that's why some of those immersive ones that have no dialogue are nice too, because it's all visual. You don't have to worry about the verbal storyline. It's just walking through it.
Yeah.
Well, and sometimes you don't want to hear that audio at work if you're looking at it. So it's really critical.
Yep.
I'm more concerned about what Mike has just shared down there. I bet that's not suitable for work. Knowing Mike.
I'll wait till after to click on that.
Yeah, I'm so waiting for afterwards. I'm not clicking that link. As in, it's not
adding to the job videos that Abby just spoke about. I think that there's another area where we could really explore much more fully. I'm a big fan of Laszlo Block and all the books he's written in the from Google. And to me, what most people are interested in, yes, it's the job and what they'll be paid and what the work they'll do. But I think a higher percentage are more concerned about where they're going to sit, how much natural light there will be. Is there, a sustainability program? Is there a parking spot for me, or what's the bus or T or subway like to get there? And there was a group that I recruited for a handful of months ago for a giant CPG company in New Jersey. And they were about 55 miles west of the city, and everyone lived in the city. And there was a group of guys and gals that came out of a particular B school that all knew each other, and they all got hired for this company. And they all had cars. And what they would do is, because it's such a pain in the ass to park your car on either side of the street in New York, is that they would park all their cars out in the parking lot, and every week or every day, they draw a straw to see who would actually do the driving back and forth and have to mess with their car. Everybody else kept their car in the parking lot at the company. Could you imagine the conversations these people have on the way in and out of the city?
The brainstorming.
And just the whole situation of drawing those straws and who's going to get it this week or what have you. I mean, to me, that would be an incredibly fun way to show what the company's about and what people work there. Other things are
carpool karaoke.
Exactly. There's so many different ways you can go.
That's a great idea.
I've forgotten his name. The English guy. It's so cool. Anyway,
name something.
James. Gordon.
Yeah, Gordon.
Yeah.
James
Gordon. Oh my God, I love him. They could do that. Off key.
You could sit in the lobby when people come in for work. You can take your video camera and just walk around the cafeteria if you have one at your company during lunchtime. You can, there's so many different ways to go, and it's just, you've got your phone, you've got your camera, go walk and show.
There's so much fear about deselection as well. So Reward Gateway, who are over here, who I adore, and they sponsor my Disrupt8 show, actually, Abby. They have this incredible office. I mean, it is beyond cool. I actually should do a 360 video for you guys. It's so cool.
Oh, yeah.
I would hate to work in there because it's all open plan. It's all hot desk. There's no drawers. There's nowhere for me to throw my shoes. It's like, I would hate it. I need my silence. And so, but most people would walk in and go, oh my God, I want to work here. This is amazing. It's actually all built around a cafe. It's the coolest, but I'd hate it. And it's like, what's wrong with me deselecting myself out of that? Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah. And I would see something else that might be cubicles, and I'd be like, yay, I can go into my zone. I'm going to go work there. And people would be like, oh, we can't show our office, it's cubicles. Well, you know, why not?
I think
going on down here.
video is equally important to help candidates self-select out. And many of our clients are doing that. So the security company that I mentioned earlier, one of the things that they're trying to do is to have fewer applicants, but more quality applicants. Because it's an armed environment. It's a tough job, but for the right person, it's a great job. But we're so afraid to share those details because employer branding at one point, there was a lot of talk about getting the name out there and getting people to apply and sharing and sharing and sharing. And now I think we've kind of right-sized it down to share, but share real so that you're getting the real people that you actually want to get.
Well, you don't want them to leave.
Absolutely. It's showing the warts and all.
Yeah. Or you're going to have them leave.
By the way, Jonathan, it'd have to be a heck of a lot of pints for me to get in the car machine doing karaoke.
Why? What's wrong with Shane's driving, Casey?
Oh, he's driving? Wow. Well, he won't be having the pints. I'll be doing the shots next time. You get me going.
That is the weirdest.
But I do think there is an element of self-selecting, and I think that's the part that I really believe is where we're headed from an EB play. And I think more and more companies are realizing that when you have 200 or 300 applicants and only 10% actually are on target, it's so time-consuming for your recruiters to dig through that. Yes, there's some AI programs out there like Clinch where we're actually helping with that to direct you to the right ones to open. But you know, if you're a recruiter, you get the fact that every one you open in your ATS has to be dispoed, and if you're going to disposition, I mean, it's a pain. It's a lot of extra effort and time. It's well, I don't mean it that negatively.
No, I've just never heard that before. It's clearly your experience.
but I think that's really critical. And most of the companies I've been talking with in the last year, that's their issue, trying to get the right people to apply. And they don't need more, they need the right ones. And so I think that's a big part. And, you know, with the videos that Abby's her company is doing where you actually can see what the work is like. Can you imagine strapping a GoPro on a guy and he's cleaning his gun or showing how to do it? I mean, that's not my kind of job, right? So I'm not going to apply to that bad boy, but someone loves guns and they're going to want to be cleaning that gun every, 20 minutes. So, I mean, you get to see that and it's obvious.
So I keep getting the giggles every time Casey freezes. You kind of freeze with these big cheesy grins all the time. It's brilliant. Next time you freeze, I'm going to catch one on camera for you.
Oh, he's frozen right now.
Oh, there we go. Oh, damn it.
Ready. I'm going to have it ready next time.
Angie's got it covered with the screenshot.
Oh, Angie's got it. Oh, no. I hope we all look gorgeous. You've got the girls looking good.
How does someone start video if, the company doesn't really have one? And they want to, how do they say there's going to be an ROI? Because can you, or is it just more of saying it's great for brand awareness? How do you pitch to the higher level, like we need video, and even if it's a cheap one, how do you still say it's worth the time? Because maybe they're all busy.
So if you start with a very affordable video, the ask is much easier. And so when we first started out with Skill Scout, we started asking companies about their churn and their cost of churn. And if we can reduce that, so on average is for these entry-level positions, it was like $3,500 to $5,000 depending on the company. And if we could do a video cheaper than that,
just the upfront cost.
That's just the upfront cost for one person.
It's way higher than that.
That's right. And so if we said, okay, so if we can save you churn for one person by investing in this video, is it going to be worth it to you? And that, being the naive non-recruiters that we were, that was how we sold our first few videos with Skill Scout. And I think staying in that general vicinity of our price point and trying to make video even more affordable makes the risk just much less. And so companies are able to you know, even put some of the recruiting budget. So if you think about a job posting, like how much it costs to post on Career Builder or Indeed or some of these other places, creating a video is comparable to that. And so if you think about it in the cost of we're creating content to make it worth our while to post in these places, that's been an effective argument as well. And then candidates.
People will share it to their friends and stuff as well. Because
but there's even more than that, more concrete than that, Katrina, actually. I mean, you can, you know, if you employ a recruitment marketing solution to your career site, like ours, but many of them do it.
Clinch.io.
That would be, yes. but you know, we track on the career page where people go. Yeah. You know, we actually provide a heat map, so you know who's seeing what, where they're being attracted, and if there's a video that very few people are watching, that comes up as a red flag. Get that video out of there, or put it in a different place. So you can, and on top of that, but besides just that, you can actually track through the people that have actually watched the video and applied, and you've got a direct ROI to the cost of that video. To me, though, that's not how you sell this. That's just the icing on the cake, so to speak. This is all about marketing. I mean, I'm creating desire for the company, for the brand, and the views alone is what I'm really interested in.
Or just say that out loud, what you've written there.
So actually, fairly recently, I talked to a company that shall remain nameless, and they do videos, and they wanted 10 to 15K per minute. So we wanted a 3-minute video. We were talking at least 30K. So that's going to be tougher to prove the ROI for sure.
And
what was so special about it that they could charge that? Was it gold plated or something? You know.
Well, they have like a 6-man crew. It's kind of the stuff Casey was talking about, like massive lighting and this big show. But for us, that's not what we needed. So for some people, it might be for them.
The other thing that's effective, and thanks Casey for sharing like the real data. That's why we partner with places like Clinch, because Skill Scout is a content creator, and we don't have the infrastructure to track all those metrics that are super helpful that Casey mentioned. But I think candidate experience is the other thing that we care a lot about. And so when candidates see a video, we've been able to work with some of our clients to do a quick testimonial, like what was it like watching a video versus applying, through a regular job posting. And the things that we hear are things like, the company cared about recruiting for this role because they invested in video. I could see the people I was going to be working with, and it made me make a better decision about whether I wanted to apply. And so I think any company that's looking for improvement of their candidate experience, videos are really low-hanging fruit for that, especially at the job description level.
Yeah, Mark Lundgren made a great point, and he said, he had a professional crew come out, and it didn't cost as much. I'm just reading in the comments here, and that's absolutely correct. In the last 12 to 18 months, the cost of video has plummeted once they realize there's money to be made, and they can't go in charging broadcast quality rates, and so it's definitely changing to some extent, but it's still nowhere near. You're still talking, $10,000 plus in most cases. And here's the worst part of it: if you got the CEO involved, or any C-level person or senior executive involved, they don't want to. Oh my God! Comms and marketing will never allow you not to have the best, particularly if it's an enterprise-sized company. I mean, we came up against this at a company that I won't name either. That is one of my favorite companies, but no way would they. This is a company that does. I got $1 billion spend in broadcast quality commercials. So they're not going to allow their CEO to be seen any other way, and that limits the type of video you're going to produce. Now they actually do a pretty good job of it. But anyway, I just throw that out. It's definitely low in cost.
Currently, we have bad echo. So Michael would like you to pretend to be an announcer for the Cubbies. Jonathan, I cannot say your surname, Jonathan, sorry. You might have covered this, but how many people have used job videos on job landing pages, or are they being posted on career sites and Facebook pages? Great question.
All of the above, right?
Yes. So we're biased. We're a video company, so we have videos everywhere. We were just talking before the broadcast about how Katrina had seen me in some videos, like trying to figure out like, well, which one was that? Yeah. Got all different eras of there we go.
So do you actually create a landing page?
Yeah, so we have a landing page. I would say about half of our customers use it versus wanting just the content. But for those customers, we work with a lot of mid-sized manufacturing companies, logistics companies, healthcare companies that don't have a sophisticated career site. And so we put together a landing page for them and help track some very lightweight analytics. And, you know, that's one way to do it. But I think I'm really trying to work with the job boards to get them to allow video content to be embedded right at the point of the ad. And some of them are working on that, and some of them are hesitant. So if
why would it be
connected with because it's an infrastructural build, and I think not enough people are screaming and demanding it. And so, you know, it's one more thing that's on the feature request list. But I think it's critical to be able to embed your video.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, it's like LinkedIn scrapes the applicant tracking systems and puts up shocking job descriptions that make you cringe. Because so it's the same. I mean, there's a fee to have video on applicant tracking systems or photos that attach and all that kind of stuff as well. So we have a ways to go.
A lot of ATSs don't support it, I think, on the job description page. There are some.
That's right.
But that's a challenge for sure.
Yep.
Sorry about this echoing thing. This happened last time.
That's again why you need a recruitment marketing product, guys, by the way. Yeah, because that would manage the outside of the ATS and be able to produce or provide direct access to that job video.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
So what do you think?
That's one of the things, actually, you know. Yeah, we do have quite an echo.
Yeah. You go, Casey.
This has happened before, and I don't understand why. All of a sudden. It's frustrating. Angie's got a question. Which I was hoping Audrey would read out.
She wants Casey to pull up his shirt, apparently.
No, further down.
Well, someone mentioned the cubbies. I mean, come on, guys. You know, I used to go to 30 years. I was going to wear this shirt today, but I didn't want to, you know. I'm one of those Cubby fans to tune in without feeling badly.
So, because
we have a better record than that. Sorry. Go ahead.
Do you think individuals should use videos? What about personal brand? From Angie.
Ooh, I like that.
Well, I do, obviously.
Oh, sure.
I use it all the time. As does Abby.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, Jim Strout's really amazing at that too. Fantastic. Yeah. A lot of recruiters don't, but I think this because they're busy or maybe not technologically savvy, but the ones that do, they stick out. It's fantastic.
I think there's a hesitance of sharing yourself. A personal brand's even harder and more vulnerable than like a company brand. And so I know when we started Skill Scout, I was like, oh, I hate being on video. And obviously since then I've gotten completely over that. But there's this hesitance and fear about putting yourself out there. And that is more of a sharpened vulnerability when it's an individual brand versus a company. And it was so interesting at HR Tech World when Gary Vee was talking about that, like just putting yourself, because he is the epitome of like personal brand, right? Like unashamed of like unapologetically self-promotional. But I dig it actually. Like I think it's a platform that people want to connect with people, and so even if a recruiter has a personal brand, so I'm a recruiter at Nike and you are going to meet me as part of the hiring process, I think that's a really interesting humanizing way to bring hiring back to people. But it's a risk and it feels vulnerable for sure.
So I must admit, I haven't seen too much of Gary Vee's thing, but there'll be a cross-cultural thing going on in my head. So, and he's Michael Cox has written Gary Vee is the poster boy for Look at Me. But I think the thing is, recruiters have already got such a bad a reputation in general that we have to be quite careful that they're paying it forward. So it's look at me, but I'm giving you a whole load of advice and support and tips and. Like you're saying, you've got the free clips on the video that we can go download. It's like that, pay it forward all the time. And I think the trouble is a lot of recruiters might get up and go, hi, I'm Katrina, I'm just fabulous. And that's it.
Yeah. And I think as like self-promotional as Gary Vee is, he is authentically sharing value every time he's sharing something. But yeah, you're totally right. It can't just be shameless self-promotion. It has to have value to the audience, just like any great content marketing. It's the same thing.
So what about tips for being in front of the camera? Because you said you were quite apprehensive, and I always give away my tip that I jump up and down before I do it, and then sit down, brush my hair down, and go. Do you? How did you overcome your fear?
I think I entered my 30s. I got over it and just got over like worrying about, because we're all concerned about our own appearance on video, right? And so especially something that lives on beyond that moment. But I think you just get, once you've done it enough times, it doesn't feel precious anymore, and you just get over it. And so I have a whole bunch of really dorky videos, and I don't care. If there's value, I don't really care. But 30 is the new 20. That's right.
And 40 was the new 30 until yesterday when I got the Tenor Light advert on Facebook and just went, shoot me now. But anyway, that was quite worrying. But I think you're right. I think it just takes doing it. I found Snapchat was a great way to start for me, and then I ended up just sitting in front of the camera and not caring.
And I think so. We're also really mindful about helping companies make their employees feel comfortable on camera. So just some like really quick tips and tricks, like if you have people interview their peers rather than like HR descending upon, or employer branding team descending upon, you know, like the people in the role, have them interview each other on camera. Do interviews. You know, you can always do like the selfie of I'm filming myself. But if there's back and forth, it just makes for a little bit less like awkwardness if you're talking to someone.
You're getting shit for that comment. It's so cool.
Hey, I'm going to tweet that out later. So
yeah, kind of not the rest of us who aren't in our 30s. But anyway.
Post 30. Let me be clear about that. But I think some other tips are like just other things that just like being able to do it multiple times, doing some practice rounds. You know, like when they say public speaking, you're supposed to talk in the mirror, like talk to yourself on camera and then record it back and then see how it feels and see if it's something that you like, and then reposition the camera, you know, get good lighting so that you're coming across bright on camera. Little things that you can do to tweak the way that you appear and the way that you feel if you're still feeling sensitive about being comfortable on camera. And if you're not, join the club.
I think this is also really important, like having that other person behind the camera, like you're saying with the interview. So important. Because when I'm delivering to dead air, I find it really hard to get my energy up. Yeah.
Casey, what did you do when you were... Sorry, what did you do when you were actually in the videography field to like help the subject feel comfortable?
Well, in those days, I worked for CNN and ESPN, so a lot of it was a day, you know, we're looking over someone's shoulder as they do their work. Some of the CNN pieces were straight up, you know, video, but we were doing like Nobel Prize winners and people that were used to this. So it's not really the average person. And in the sports world, they're doing their thing. You know, afterwards, when you're interviewing the star player or the coach, they're so in the moment of the emotion and the adrenaline because they just finished winning or losing. So the raw energy comes out, and people don't care what they look like. They actually don't even care what they say. In many cases, it just comes out. So you know, if you could kind of get your subject into that frame, you get the raw, you get exactly what you want, that authentic, this is what it is. It's hard to do that. And I think, you know, what Abby was mentioning in terms of having a colleague or a co-worker actually be involved in it, not HR, not the video people, it's hugely important. And I think that's one way to relax people. I mean, you know, 3-4 years ago, I'm using a tool called Inside Connector. I don't know if you guys know about it, and it's a way to, and you actually introduce yourself to a candidate using this own web tool, and you create a video and introduce yourself to the person. And 4 or 5 years ago, it would be like, okay, I've done my 40th take, and you know, that one word didn't work right. I got to do 41, and I think about now back on that and how silly that was. You know, and I don't want to dominate the conversation, but what Katrina talked about in her in the pipeline interview was absolutely so cool. And you showed me this last spring at SourceCon, where, you know, can you imagine, we've spent the last 20 years leaving voicemail messages, sending emails, texting, hopefully now, if you're getting into that, trying to get the person to engage with you, right? Could you imagine, hey, this is KC. You look really terrific. I noticed you're on Facebook. I'd love to chat with you. Give me, you know, reach back out to me. Hit send. And I'm looking at my camera making that video, right? I then pop that into their Facebook Messenger and send it up to them. They're going to see my face on the messenger when they open it. Are they not going to click that?
And they watch it before they have to accept it. So they don't even know.
Talk about engagement. That's video. I think at the most tactical use of ROI that you could find. And guess what, Katrina? Few people are doing it. And we shouldn't really tell anyone.
watching my clients getting so excited doing it as well is just the best. It's like, yeah, let's just do that. I'm like, oh, you're my kind of clients. Who is that?
Yep, I posted that last night on Facebook. Jim Durbin says, okay, yeah, let's see how long it takes before we all ruin this too.
But again, you just can't just send the video. You got to fill out your bio. You got to look like someone we're talking to. You got to pay it forward.
Yeah.
Oh wow! More is written here. Being comfortable on camera, a lot has to do with who's behind the camera. Have someone ask the questions, so what you're saying is a natural response and not a forced feel. Yeah, and leave the ums in and the ahs in and the
make it feel. Yeah, exactly. And I think you know, we sort of naively came into this because, and Elena Valentine rocks behind the camera. That's my co-founder at Skill Scout. Totally agree with you, Angie. We came in as ethnographic researchers. And so we knew a certain way of interviewing people that was like, tell me more, and pulling responses from people in a way that made them feel honored and like they're the expert, because they are the expert. They're the ones doing the job. Even if HR knows more details about, you know, the job description, the person doing it day to day knows more about it. So being ethnographic and how you're asking questions, which comes from like just a real authentic, curious place about what that person's experience is like, and immersing yourself in it and not assuming that you know what they're talking about, because your audience won't know what they're talking about. So like killing acronyms and making the person feel very honored as they're speaking about their job. Elena's
you know, the other thing too, guys, and you may not agree with this, Abby, but to me, after being in the, you know, film production for half a decade or almost a decade, why is it that the entire marketing world uses 30-second spots, at best 60, to get their message across? Yet we've got these 3, 4, 5-minute videos that nobody watches.
That's right.
Why can't we figure that out?
Because we're recruiters, right?
Tell the story in 30 seconds.
So I love this. So if you pick up a Coca-Cola bottle, you're choosing happiness. Whereas we put out job adverts, the contents of the Coca-Cola bottle, and if you read that, you'd never drink it because your teeth are going to fall out. But that's what recruiters do. I stole that analogy. It's not actually mine, to be fair. But I love it. It's like, choose happiness. Yeah, your teeth will rot. But we're not going to say that. And that's the problem. We are recruiters.
We're not marketers.
We're not marketers.
We need to be, but we're not.
We're not. No, we're just not. And that's why I say, look like someone worth talking to. I don't say build a personal brand, because recruiters go, what do you mean?
Good point.
We lost Abby on cue. That's a bit worrying. I hope she's coming back.
Oh,
good. You just lost your video. That's okay.
Good.
It might still be there for everyone else, just not me. So.
Oh.
No, I don't see you there. That's all right.
Because we're recruiters. It's because, okay, so for Michael Cox, we can't get the HR directors of this world to stop freaking out. They're so fearful of anything not overly produced or anything that looks real, which is crazy. Oh no, she's coming back.
There she is.
There she is.
Sorry about that.
Oh, she's moved. It's confusing when that happens.
Oh gosh, now I'm on the higher Brady level now.
Yeah, you've gone up a road. Then the video comes out and it's completely different. So we're all like pointing. It's so funny when the video comes out and we're like pointing and it's not the person. It's not in the order. It's so funny. It's really cool.
Guys, do you think more teams will start using live video in the next few years, or do you think that's just kind of a fad that won't take off?
I think they will.
I think it will. I think it will, because it just takes it up a notch of that authenticity, and it requires you to be authentic because it is live.
Yep.
Great question.
Especially
for you,
for
Abby. From Jonathan.
I think events are, are going to be a bigger part of our world in terms of recruitment. And because I think people want to be involved in things like that, and being able to go live at any event, it doesn't have to be a recruiting event, but you get my point.
Yeah.
I think it's going to certainly be something that you'll want to share, very much like you'd share, a sports show or whatever like that.
Well, it's more interesting because anything could happen at any time, right? So it's like exciting to watch.
But it's so cool. So this is right now going out on Facebook Live, and I mean I'm sitting over here on Crowdcast. I'm not even looking at it, so I'm sure there'll be loads of comments when we go back. But it's so cool because I can schedule it to my page and then repost it onto my personal profile, and it's like sitting there going.
Yeah.
Great question from Jonathan here. Abby, are many clients including videos in any automated drip email campaigns?
Yeah, that's a great question. More and more are. So that requires content, right? And so one of the things that we've been trying to get really creative about is creating different recipes so that we keep fresh content that candidates care about so that you can use it in an email marketing campaign to kind of nurture that talent that you're talking to. So things like so our team's going to do a little 4th of July video of like, how did Skill Scouts spend our 4th of July? And we're going to have little snippets from the team and then share that out. And so thinking about not just holidays, but also significant events that are coming up for your company, you have to have the content to be able to support that. And so I think many companies are right at the point where they're like, I want to do it, but they don't have the backlog of all of the great content or a channel to easily create that. But that's a great idea. It's a great question. And I would love to see more companies doing that.
One of the ways we've succeeded in doing that is by putting an image on the video, on the email that looks like a video. It's got the little arrow in the middle. So people click and we make that a link, a hyperlink, and people click it thinking they're going to watch a video. Well, they do, but they're sent to a page where the video is playing, and guess what else is on that page? A whole bunch of other cool things about the company and maybe a few jobs.
I always get fooled by those. If there's a play button, I hit it and I go, damn it.
It works.
What happens with my blog when I actually do one and send it out? It's perfect.
Emails that include that type of image.
A streaker on a live video?
This was
a true story. Yep, that's why Jessica gets nervous about live video, because she actually was doing a recruitment video and some guy ran by naked. And I think CEOs worry about that crazy stuff, which never happens, but it did once.
Right, we have 4 minutes left, and in that time, we have not discussed the purple cast, so that has to happen.
Yes.
Oh dear. It's been
let's hear the whole story.
We had streaking.
I want to hear the story.
No, but it's just so fun to look at. Look how big it is.
But like, what happened? I know you were playing ice hockey.
Very royal.
Yeah.
I love the color.
It's just a
royal
crash. Yeah. But I'm so glad I didn't I tried to get up to get off the ice because I felt bad that the game was being held up. Thank God I didn't, because I would have made it much worse.
But you don't have to have surgery, so that's a really, really good thing.
So far, so good.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, they were able to set it.
I was going to bring my hockey pucks for the show today, but I forgot this morning when I left.
Yeah,
that would have been quite funny.
You should do like a secret life of the purple cast video.
Yeah, they're gorgeous. Even Snapchat, I could do some funny. Just trying to wash my hair was really interesting. I could have definitely Snapchatted that.
Do you know what? When you heard, all I thought about was, oh God, I hope she's on our show. I'm so bad. Typical Australian, right? See, if you're an Australian, like you interview yourself in Australia, we just laugh. So that basically I laughed and then went, God, I hope she's on the show on Friday. We're shocking. We are shocking.
I actually knew you thought that, and like in the ER, I was like, I better make the show.
You'll be so pissed. These things are important, really important. So in our final minute, next week, we've got Kevin Grossman on. Grossman. See, I can't pronounce anything. So excited. Oh, Mark was thinking the same. See, he wanted you to be on as well. Thank you both so much for being here.
Thank you.
Oh, this was so much fun.
Everyone check out Clinch and Skill Scout.
So can they reach you there at Clinch and Skill Scout?
Yep.
Is that the
Absolutely.
Just use the contact form?
Yeah, or on Facebook if you're watching this on Facebook Live. I'm a real person. You can just hit me up.
Send you a video.
Yeah.
Easy. Thank you. That was
anywhere.
Sorry? Anywhere.
You can be anywhere.
Abby equals real. Whoa, that's a compliment, aren't you?
Yay. LinkedIn header.
Say it again?
You should put that as our LinkedIn header.
Yeah,
real.
Be human. Be human. Oh, and Jim's just popped in right at the end. How hilarious. Gets in the last 30 seconds. Right. Anyway, thank you so much, everybody.
Yeah,
We shall see you all next week. Thank you so much, Abby Casey.
Yeah, thank
Take
you.
care. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.